Hey guys, and welcome to Wrestling Days. So today I wanted to have a look at Fastlane, which is this Sunday, and obviously it's the last major stop before we get to WrestleMania. There's 6 matches that have been announced, and a little bit surprising, the tag team titles won't be on the line. So the New Day actually are going to go on the Cutting Edge Peep Show instead. Now this is just going to be a talk show segment with Edge and Christian, and really it's just to promote their show that airs straight after Fastlane on the network. The trailer for that show I thought looked alright. There's a few glimpses in there of characters that I'm quite interested to see what they do with, like the Gobbledygooker from the can't remember, I think it was like 1992, maybe 1990 Survivor Series. Anyway, it looks like if you're a wrestling fan, there's going to be quite a lot of little nods and mentions to things that have happened in the past, which is what WWE should have been doing all along. The network's there so that you can then go and explore all this history. I really don't think they do enough when it comes to that. So I'm looking forward to that segment actually, but what I wanted to do in this video is really focus on the matches and talk about who we think is going to win and what it's going to do for WrestleMania. So the first match is going to be Alberto Del Rio against Kalisto. This is on the pre-show, and it's 2 out of 3 falls match. Now, I don't think it matters who wins here, because I think whoever wins is going to drop the title at WrestleMania. It would probably make sense to put the belt onto Del Rio because of Kalisto being in the Lucha Dragons, and now Sin Cara has come back. So you'd think that his priority is going to be in that tag team, going for the tag team titles. It's going to be a bit of a distraction if he's got to do a lot of singles matches defending the US title on the side. The only reason I wouldn't do that is because I don't think Kalisto or Del Rio have gained anything out of the title changes and this feud that they've been having. It feels like there needs to be some victories. They need to both come out of this better off for it, or at least one of them does. And I think Kalisto could. If he does get the better of Del Rio and defends the title a couple more times maybe before WrestleMania, then I think he drops it at WrestleMania, and then the Lucha Dragons go after the title. Del Rio at this point, I really think even WWE feel that he's a lost cause. I think he gained some fantastic heat in Lucha Underground. I think that he had some real momentum, and they've brought him back, and unfortunately he just can't work in the WWE style. This PG era that, you know, takes away so much of his arsenal just doesn't work for Del Rio. I'm a little bit sympathetic for the man, because I do think he's a good worker and I do think he's a good wrestler. I just think that he's not given the opportunity to show that. So in this, I see Kalisto winning, and I think that Kalisto then drops the belt at WrestleMania. First match on the card that I've got is Charlotte going up against Brie Bella. Now, I think that Charlotte wins this one. They might go for the emotional moment of putting it onto Brie, but Brie would then have to drop it very quickly, because she's obviously talking of retiring and leaving very soon. In fact, she's even been saying that Fastlane could be her last match. Now, if that's the case, she definitely doesn't win the belt. There's no way WWE allow her to retire with that title and drop it and all that kind of stuff. We've been down that road several times before. So I see Charlotte winning this. It's just nice and clean that way. Brie then will retire at some point. We'll see Sasha going for the title at WrestleMania. I honestly don't want Sasha to win the belt at WrestleMania, because I want this to be a long, drawn-out feud. I don't think the first time you go for the title should be the time that you win it. I think Charlotte's doing a good job of being a heel champion. I think Ric Flair is adding to that as well. So I would just keep the title on Charlotte for the time being. In fact, if Charlotte went on to beat Nikki's run for longest reigning diva, I'd be alright with that, because I think that Sasha has got years and years and years of in-ring work ahead of her, why not just chase this title for a bit and then have a really good reign when you actually do win it, which might not be even as late as, you know, WrestleMania 33 if needs be. Talking of Sasha, we might as well talk about Sasha and Becky next. So they go up against Tamina and Naomi. I think this could have been built a little better. This, you know, has been the breakdown of Team Bad, if you will. We saw Team PCB fall apart first. Team Bella has literally fallen apart from an injury point of view. And now we're seeing Team Bad collapse. I think that Team Bad were always the third team. They were the most quiet of the teams. Always seemed to be PCB going up against the Bellas. But I would have liked to have seen this been allowed to have played out a little bit longer. It hasn't. It feels a little rushed, a little bit soon. I don't think that anything is going to happen other than a Becky and Sasha win. And then I think that that'll free up those girls to go after the title and go after Charlotte. Where this puts Tamina and Naomi, I really don't know. I would worry about those two because I just think that they're going to struggle in this new landscape. Certainly when the likes of Bayley and Asuka get called up to the party as well, then you really have to look at someone like Tamina that just has never connected with the audience and just wonder where she's going to be in a year or two. I don't see it being with the WWE. Next, we've got Kevin Owens, new Intercontinental Champion, up against Dolph Ziggler. I just don't know. I mean, I've done a video on this already. I haven't got a clue what they're doing with the Intercontinental title. I think that they're butchering it, in truth. I think that they should have either left it on Kevin Owens or they should have left it on Dean Ambrose. What I'm not a fan of is it getting passed around so much. I mean, previous to Owens winning it, it was on Ryback. And then previous to Ryback, it was on Daniel Bryan. All of that has happened in less than a year. And then you've got all the Bad News or King Barrett or whatever he was called at the time. You've got his reigns, and then you've got Ziggler's reigns, and I know that Luke Harper was in the mix as well. This title for years and years and years has just been passed around like a prop, and it is really, really frustrating. Longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, Honky Tonk Man over 400 days. No one's come close to that. And it just doesn't look like anybody will. And I honestly don't understand why. I don't understand why they're not letting someone have a 100-day run with this title. Really making a name for themselves, winning some feuds whilst holding on to that belt and really raising the prestige of it. You know, John Cena's just done it with the US title, had the US Open Challenge, made the US title more important than the Intercontinental title now. Granted, that's lost its prestige since he dropped it to Del Rio, and then Del Rio to Kalisto and whatnot. But whatever, you know, this is where we are with the Intercontinental title. It's in a bit of a bad place. I would really hope that Kevin Owens brings some of that prestige back. If he loses it to Dolph Ziggler or whatever, at this point I really don't care. I want to see Kevin Owens going for the world title. I want to see Kevin Owens there or thereabouts come SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania next year. Whatever it is, whatever timeline they put on it, it needs to be somewhere around that ballpark. End of this year, I want to see KO in that main event picture because he is the next big heel. He is fantastic at what he does. You know, he's got all this experience. He should be higher up the card than Intercontinental Champion, and it's frustrating. I hope he gets Undertaker at WrestleMania, or I hope he gets a massive match. I think it'll be an Intercontinental match, which shouldn't be seen as anything less than massive, but unfortunately it's just not. It's not got the prestige that it did. So it is what it is. But I will go with Kevin Owens winning. I'll go with Kevin Owens winning, and then let's put him into a massive match at WrestleMania. And I've got to be honest, I don't care who he faces, I hope he wins. Next, I've got the Wyatts going up against the Titans of WWE. On Twitter, I jokingly said I hoped it'd be Sting and Undertaker. but I thought it would more likely be Big Show and Kane, and lo and behold, it turns out to be Big Show, Kane and Ryback, just to make things even worse. So of course the Wyatts win this, of course they do, and then they go on probably for a feud with Brock Lesnar. I don't know what this Titans of WWE is all about. It's a load of rubbish. Big Show saying the Big Show thing the other day, right? All credit to him. He came across really well. It was a really fantastic interview. It was heartfelt. It was It was really insightful. I love the fact that he was honest in saying he thinks he's been booked horribly. He won a lot of credit with the fans. Still doesn't change the fact that he doesn't do it in the ring, and he's taking a spot from someone that could be, you know, really pushing themselves forward, that's still got 10, 15 years ahead of them. He reckons he'll be around for another 2 years. It's time to go, Big Show. It's time to go. I don't think you're the person that should be making that decision. I think you should have gone by now, and I think you come across like a really nice bloke, but you're done. And it's time for someone else to have your spot. I want the Wyatts to win, and I hope they bury all three of these guys once they've beaten them as well. And then on to the main event. This has Roman Reigns written all over it, doesn't it? And I don't see anything else happening other than that. I think if WWE want the big WrestleMania fairy tale story, they go with Dean Ambrose. They've certainly been implying that they will do that, and I think dropping the title makes it appear like that might be the direction they're going. But I think it's all smoke and mirrors, and I think they still go with Roman Reigns. The company still sees Roman Reigns as the next John Cena. They're going to need someone to do those Make-A-Wish commitments. They're going to need someone to sell Cena levels of merchandise, who can really connect with the kids, who can connect with the women, who can connect to those casual fans. It's Roman Reigns. He's got the look, he's got the power, he's very marketable. You know, the lunatic fringe doesn't really connect on all of those fronts, but he is the fans' favourite. If WWE want a memorable WrestleMania and a Daniel Bryan moment, they go with Dean Ambrose. If they want just a headline that, you know, will really help sell out WrestleMania, they go with Brock. But I think they just stay with their initial plan, and that is Roman Reigns. So I think they go Roman Reigns. I think that Brock goes on for a feud with the Wyatts. I think they interfere in this, as we've thought all along. And I have no idea what happens to Dean Ambrose. It could be that he goes into some kind of ladder match for the US title. We saw a ladder match for the Intercontinental title last time. Maybe they do it for the US one this time. And maybe Dean doesn't progress any further than he had last year. I hope that's not the case. But time will tell. Time will tell. I'll be keeping everything crossed that Dean Ambrose does it this Sunday. I hope he does, and I hope WWE gives something for the fans. I just don't think it'll go that way. Well, thank you for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to know how you think Fastlane's going to go. Don't forget, you can follow me on Twitter at Wrestling Days UK. Be wicked for you to come over there, and again, you know, send me some tweets, direct messages. It's always great to have a chat with you guys. And as always, thanks a lot for watching. See you next time.